Everyone, so very welcome. Can you just give me a wave if you can hear me? Is the volume good? Okay, that's most people. And also just an invitation for those of you who are not on video, if you feel to. That's great, yeah, nice. Hi. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming in this evening. Before we get into this, my feeling is to begin with a bit of breath, a bit of connection, so a bit of easiness inside our body. So I just invite you just to get really comfortable where you are. If you want to put your feet on the floor. I'm going to start with just a bit of nose breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And the purpose of this is so that you can really arrive deeply into this moment so that we can make really good use of our hour and a half time together and discover what this Colibri Heart Tribal Trance Dance Apprenticeship is all about. Yeah. So I invite you to close your eyes, start off taking nice deep breath in through the nose. Really fill up your belly, your lungs fully, right to the top. You swap hands, collecting the other side, centering, and gather. Like breathe in right into the center of your chest. On the out breath, the hands come out. Just sending energy to everyone in the space right now. And just eyes open, just have the hands here for a moment. Just witness those in this circle together with us tonight. Really fill yourself up on the in-breath, drinking in the energy you're sharing in this moment. On the out-breath, really giving through the palms of the hands. Like bringing in and giving. This time on the in-breath, bring the hands to your chest. Give yourself a little hug, a little caress. So I'm going to invite you doing this presentation. So I'm going to start with a presentation and then invite you if you have questions you want to ask or things you'd like to share. So open the floor, and then we'll see how the time is. We might do a bit more practice, more experiential work. So first of all, thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate you giving your time, energy to be here. It's very lovely to see you all, sense you in the space. And invite you during this whole time also just keep breathing. Nice big in-breath. Say breathe in through the nose because this connects higher centers from the crown, third eye, throat down to the heart. That's the in-breath through the nose. Out breath through the mouth grounds from the heart, solar plexus, sacral down to the base. So this is the purpose of this very simple breathing. It's like you're collecting life and then grounding. And I invite you to do that as I'm speaking a little bit with some conscious breath. As you do this, it might also help you connect a little bit more deeply to what I'm sharing and then ground it through your bodies, okay? So I'm not going to speak for very long right now because I want to hear why you're here this evening, what your interest and desire is, what you hope to receive through the Colibri Heart Travel Trance Dance. So I'll just give you a brief introduction. Yeah. So those who don't know me, and I'm pretty sure I know everybody in the space now, but if you don't know me, then my name's Guy, and I also function as DJ Colibri when I'm DJing. And I've been working with conscious dance movement for probably 27 years now, so for some time. When I say conscious movement, it's been in a variety of different forms. My primary teaching was with beat danza, and I've done some work with 5 rhythms and a lot of shamanic trance dance. So there's lots of different forms of conscious movement that I've been interested in throughout my life. So why the dance? Why have I moved to dance? Why am I offering this? Well, I practiced meditation for many, many years, some very hardcore meditation for about 10 years, and have done lots of introspective philosophical inquiry. So using the breath meditation, mantra, and also self-inquiry. And these are fantastic processes. They're beautiful, but I noticed something was missing in my experience was to do with the emotion and my embodied presence. So I was getting quite spaced out and light body oriented and not feeling particularly human, earth-centered, relational. And so dance really brought me to a deep place of connecting with my body, my feeling, my emotion, my presence. Welcome down into the space. So for me, dance has been a medicine all the time in the ways it allows me to express, to connect, to pray, to intend, to vision. I've discovered you can do anything and everything on the dance floor. And it really depends on the context that you set up when you're guiding a dance workshop. So if I were to say it's just a dance class, then you'd come along and enjoy the music and move and connect to people. In the context of it being a class, if I
Guy, can you do it a little bit louder? I can.
Okay, I speak a bit loud. Is that better for everyone? It's good? Everyone can hear me? Yes? Yeah, good. Okay. Mhm. So in the context of dance, I have found that I can bring different states of consciousness and awareness into my embodied experience. And it's a lot to do with the context. So if I create a dance ritual or a dance journey or dance ceremony, then this gives me a heightened sense of awareness in which I become more in tune with the details of the dance. Now, I spent quite a long time in the Amazon with the shamans, drinking ayahuasca for some time, which was like drinking liquid lightning. And this brought me to a very deep state in awareness and consciousness and connection with Mother Earth, Mother Nature. But when I came back to England, I felt quite clearly that the medicine is not for everybody. It's very strong. And so I set about a way of translating the experiences I'd received into dance movement. And this is how I came across the trance dance. For me, when I'm in a trance dance journey, it's an invitation to connect to that multi-dimensional being that we are and to deepen into our awareness of our love for the earth, not as an idea, but as a direct experience, as a feeling. So we can say a lot of good things about Mother Nature and ecology and what we should do. But what was missing for me in that conversation was the direct contact. And this involved empathy and listening and receiving. And so I spent a long time in deep introspection to receive the nature instead of impose onto the nature with ideas and interpretations and what I think she should or shouldn't be. There's a whole conversation we should heal the earth. The earth is fine. You know, she is the conscious being, thousands of years old. It's ourselves that we need to bring healing to, and our connection with our own sense of earth, our own sense of body. So during the trance dance journey, what I discovered was deep ways to reconnect myself, my nervous system, to connect my thinking with my feet, to connect my heart with the trees and the people, to really bring a deep, deep state of embodiment and presence. There was a whole conversation happening with Eckhart Tolle about the power of now. And at the same time, was also studying a lot of shamanism. And they have a distinction, which is the point of power is in presence. It's in presence. And what we call time is an imaginary construct. The only place where we actually are is now, here, in our state of awareness. This is where the authenticity of our aliveness is occurring. So the more we get in touch with presence, the more we dissolve our notions and concepts and distractions, we come back into an intimate state of embodied feeling resonance with the earth, with each other, with everything that's around us, because we're open, we're an open system. So many, many ways, what I discovered during the trance dance journeys is way to shake loose. And any of you, and I think many of you have been involved in some trance dances I've offered, we shake loose. Yeah? We open up the energy and consciousness around us to release the tension, to release the stuckness. And as we release, we open space for the life energy that we are to come out and move. So the basic premise is that we already are whole. We already are connected. Connection is not something we seek and attain and arrive into as if it's somewhere else. It's not a commodity. It's not something to buy. Connection is what we are. So as we start to shake loose, open up, let go, what we are reveals him, herself. And this is what we encounter often in the trance dance journey, this liberation of tension, stuckness, and this opening to our natural expression. Essentially, it's very simple, but what complicates it is how we overthink, overanalyze, and project away from ourselves in the hope to get back to ourselves. So there's some unconditioning, unwinding and rewinding. Yeah. So just to give you a few more words about the context of the apprenticeship. I have a lot to share on this subject and have found ways to translate many, many, many shamanic principles into everyday experiences. So they're not left as fanciful philosophies or interesting rituals, but they're really demonstratable, practical, applicable in daily life. And utilizing what some people call ancient wisdom or indigenous wisdom, or some people call the perennial wisdom, which means it's been here for all time, it's innate to us, to recover contact with this and to bring this into the so-called modern world. And it's really about recovering ourselves as a natural earth creature, really getting in touch with our humanity and deeply connecting again and filling ourselves up with the life power that's given to us. And from this, learning to reorientate ourselves, yeah, from what some people call the goddess principle. What I mean by this is the goddess is the one who is in embodiment, senses, sensuality, feeling, energy, the aliveness of our humanity, yeah, the immanence of creation. And over thousands of years, there's been a distortion in the teaching, which has moved us to seek the Father in the sky, the disembodied masculine, away from the body, and has judged the body, condemned the feminine, condemned the connection with the earth, to a point in humanity now where we are raping and pillaging and exploiting the earth and each other. This moment now we're in, we've kind of hit the pause button. The skies are blue again. The air is cleaner again. There's less toxicity in the rainfall. There's a bit of a reset happening in the earth because we've stopped taking. And we're coming more into a listening, responsive way of being with the earth. So when I'm talking like this, I just want to give you a context that the trance dance itself is a beautiful technique, tool, process, and ritual, but it exists in a much bigger paradigm, yeah, in a much bigger view, which is often called a cosmology, in which we reorientate ourselves in our entire relationship with Mother Nature and ourselves and our humanity, our tribe. So it's utilizing all of these principles to come back into deep connection. And in the apprenticeship journey, I want to travel deep and give lots of experiential direct contact with many of these principles, so that you can experience more of this way. I would like to hear some voices. I'm curious why you're here tonight, what your interest is, what your desire is, what more you'd like to hear, why are you showing up this evening? Yeah? And so the best way to do this is, if you're ready to speak, if you wave your hand and I'll just unmute you and share some words, and then we can move to the next. So we'll hold a space for this between us. Does anyone have anything they'd like to ask or question or you're curious about? Now, I can't see the people who haven't got the video on, so I have to be very intuitive. Okay, Peter, yeah, great, I'm going to unmute you. Thank you. Maybe you have to unmute yourself. Yeah, good.
I still can barely hear you. I don't know. I'm on my phone, but I put my volume max, but I has really difficulties to hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Is that true for everyone else, or can everyone else hear me?
I'm not on my computer, so I'm on my phone. But okay, I try with my ear close to the thing.
Okay.
What I want to ask is, what is the difference with what we do in the Dancing Heart Path when we have the weekends and the training, and what is the difference with that? Because what you said, what you told, you have already told us in the Dancing Heart Path, and you're doing the same exercises. I'm very much interested in all shamanic principles because I like to work with them, and I've been doing a lot with that. But I want to deepen it, and I want to date in daily practice this. So I'm very interested, but I just curious what is the um, 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 what is the difference with what we do in the weekends?
Okay, so first of all, if you're not aware, I also run a school called the Dancing Heart Path, a modern mystery school, and facilitator training. And yes, the primary principles and paradigm are, of course, very, very similar, if not the same, because they're originated through my way of seeing the world. When I conceived of the dancing heart path, I see it as a tree with many branches on, and shamanism is definitely one of the branches. There's another process I call heart, Heart, heart work. There's another branch I call Devantra dance, devotional tantra, and there's also one which is more in creativity, relationship, and conscious parenting. For me, these are all branches on the big tree, which is the dancing heart path, which represents the dance of our heart in existence, which I feel every human being in some way or other is on and in and with. The reason for offering the specific Colibri Heart Tribal Trance dance is I wanted to deepen with a heightened sense of refinement about the particular principles. So to come in with complete clarity in principle and practice. So to really demonstrate and translate some important shamanic principles and to show how these can be empowered in your life. And we are in a moment where we are largely online around the world. So I also felt it was an opportunity to use this moment to see how we could engage with a potential global audience, people from anywhere around the world, and offer this without having to leave our homes as well. So it's also meeting the moment of what can be offered here and now. Yeah. I hope that's okay enough for now, Peter. Anybody else has a question or a curiosity or why you've come this evening? That's what I'd like to hear about. Okay, thank you, Sergio. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I need to go to the room because I have kids here. But I have a question for you. Um, how how advanced this is gonna be? Because you say about the ayahuasca, that stuff. I have been a user for ayahuasca since 2011, and have been having more than maybe 30 ceremonies. And I'm looking for someone who is not only willing to talk about the here and the now, but also to who has experience in balancing things around, staying on the ground,
Hmm.
despite seeing things that they are very, very challenging. I'm looking for someone who really, really can teach, can show things that they are beyond the nice and beautiful speech of shamanism.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Okay, I'll respond with that. Yeah, very good question. Um, I'm not about to pretend I have all the credentials and I am the one and only, but I will give you my version of what I'm offering through this training to see how that resonates or not with you. Yeah. In some ways, when we talk about advanced, for me, some of the most advanced practice is the most simple things that we do. Can we do the simple practice of everyday living with the advancement of an open heart? Can we do things with the innocence of our being? Is it possible to simplify the esoteric, the spiritual, the shamanic, philosophical, and bring that into the everyday moments of relating, communicating, expression? So for me, it's very important to measure the fruit of the practice. And the way we do that is in our physical experience, our emotional experience, our relationships, our world, and our work. So it's immediately testable when we do spiritual practice of an authentic nature because it manifests in the world pretty much instantaneously. There are many schools of teaching which say that we have to do lots and lots of years of training and study and stages and steps. And I'm often a bit suspicious about this because there's something that happens in the grace of the present moment where you can have direct insight into the great mystery. And that's available for anyone at any point in time. Yeah. The innocence, the openness of a heart can connect us very profoundly to the life that we are living with. So, in terms of grounding, the roots and the branches, as Carl Jung used to say to his students, is that he wouldn't take his students on unless they were financially sorted, had a house, some of them in relationship, practical, grounded, living in the so-called ordinary reality. Because he said he was going to take them on a journey into the esoteric, into the mystical, into the branches. And if you haven't got the roots, you'll just topple over. You'll fall off balance. So for me, it's as equally important to strengthen the roots so that we can really grow into the branches. and withstand the storms, the wind, the breeze, and the beauty that comes before the fully manifest tree. And so a lot of our practices are earthing practices, grounding, rooting, connecting through the physical body. Now, when the physical body feels rooted and in a profound state of connection with the earth, then there's a natural ease of being that opens into the branches. There's an easiness of expansion because we don't feel afraid. Yeah. Why would we enter the great mystery if we're terrified already of survival? If we're living in fear and the lower centers and terrified about the business of daily life, the last thing you want to do is to enter into the psychedelic realm or the multidimensional realm. It would confuse you, distort you, create illusion, hallucination, projection, many, many different things. And many people either have experienced this directly or know people who've taken a drug or done a very strong Kundalini workshop or something, and they've opened up very quickly. And it creates such a radical shift in awareness and attention that it disorientates and can create a lot of chaos in the system. And some people take a very long time to come back from that. So there's a very important principle of grounding, earthing, connecting, feeling safe in ourselves, strongly rooted in our identity and our sense of physical presence before we expand out into other states of consciousness and awareness. So that's one thing I want to respond with. The rooting is very, very important. But to understand what we're actually rooting into. Yeah? Rooting into a sense of presence, rooting into a sense of safety and trust. Yeah? When you feel safe and trusted, you open up naturally in communication, expression, in meeting the others. When there's an insecurity, a doubt, and a fear, we close, we create armor, we pretend, we hide behind masks. So this obviousness is to build more energy in the safety and the trust. So we don't feel we need to put armor on or defense mechanism or pretend or fake it. And so then we come to a congruence of expression. Yeah. There's another important thing I want to say here, because a lot of people work with strong plant medicines or cacao or strong breath processes or meditations, and you definitely can achieve altered states of consciousness and energy. And it can be interesting. It can be phenomenal, it can be visionary, yeah? But it can also be going to the sweet shop. It can also be going to the fairground of phenomena. And we can get lost in seeking the next great energy rush, the tantric breath, the orgasm, the vision, the geometric pattern, all these things, the entertainment of the cosmos. Yeah? Now, I want to say that I'm not really about that, okay? Yeah? That, for me, is a byproduct of connection. You may well see extraordinary things along the way with this journey, but that's not the reason. It's not the reason to get high. It's not the reason to see the grass greener somewhere else. The reason is deepening into authentic connection with yourself and recognizing what a phenomenal, magical being you are. Yeah? That you can have these experiences, but you are more than the having of the experiences. I would much rather, and if you want to take a deep breath into this one, don't forget to breathe. I would much rather come into deep, profound connection with who I am and rest into that quiet contentment. And then from there, move out into the world through the mind, through the imagination, feelings, sensations, energy, and all the other dance of what it is to be human in the act of creation. But it's not a question of seeking phenomena. I studied a little bit of basic Buddhism. The chasing of desire leaves you empty and hungry because you can never get enough. Yeah, you can never get enough of what you're chasing for. Yeah. Now, this does not mean in any way that there's a negation of living. Yeah, this is something I like to say as a core principle as well. Having studied in-depth meditation, then observed Western materialism and the cult of independence. So you have these two huge spectrums. You have the kind of the Hindu view, which is Brahma is all there is, or the non-dual perspective. Then you have the realm of ego and identity, which is that's all there is. And for me, it's one spectrum. Yeah. I first got into this more when I studied Ken Wilber. And Ken Wilber is looking at the integration of our metaphysical self and our very ordinary personality. And recognizing that this personality you see here before us is the living extension of source energy. You know, I mean, that for me is so beautiful, to recognize that we are the living extension of the life force. Yeah. So when we're doing the trance journeys, yeah, we're not necessarily seeking the phenomena. We're not trying to get somewhere. It's an unveiling and a revealing of the deepness of where we already are. And in that process, you may well see all sorts of psychic states and phenomenal states. But these are signs and symptoms that you're just waking up your possibilities. They're not the end game. So I don't know if that meets anything you asked, Sergio, but thanks for the question. Yeah. Does someone else want to share or ask anything? I'm curious why you're here, what your desire is, what your want, wish, and need is. Why did you come this evening? Yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, you might have. Yeah, good. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, good evening, everybody. My name is Dan. I live in Holland, and I know Guy from the Dancing Heart Path, and I really love the work that he does, and he inspires me a lot. I found that doing this work via internet is not really my thing, but I really love to support the work that he does, and this is what the universe offers me now at this moment. So I'll just join in and see what it brings me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, just for clarity, this is not psychedelic. This is Argentinian mate. Just to let you know, just in case you're curious. Right? Mate is like coffee, right? But it's much sweeter for the heart. Thought I'd clarify that since I've just been talking about ayahuasca. Yeah. I actually want to just respond a little bit to what Dan just brought into the space, because a few people mentioned to me today. I invited a lot of people to this call, and I got some feedback from people. The internet is not my thing. It's not good for me. It doesn't do it for me. I need to touch and feel you. So I want to respond to that, okay? And just take this as you will. So there's a teaching I work with, which is ground of body and ground of being. Okay. So the ground of body exists on a horizontal line. That's my embodied experience that apparently moves along a made-up timeline, yeah, from birth through life to death. Ground of body, the embodied experience. Yeah. Now, ground of being moves on the vertical, okay, vertical line. Yeah. My ground of being, in many ways, is not even physical. It's multidimensional, it's mystic, it's inspirational, it's visionary, it's otherworldly. And it's not said from the perspective of the body that it's otherworldly, it just is. Yeah? And in physics, this is called the quantum field or non-locality. Okay? Now, shamanism ideally integrates the vertical and the horizontal. And hopefully every spiritual practice, an authentic spiritual practice, or an authentic, real, living, loving practice, yeah, integrates and harmonizes the horizontal with the vertical. The way I experience this and the way I teach this is my ground of body is where I take care of my physical structure, health, well-being, food, nutrition, emotion, relationship. On Maslow's triangle of hierarchy of needs, it's the physical realm, the lower three centers. Yeah? I take care of my survival needs. I'm a human animal. Yeah? No pretense that I'm more than that. This body is made of the same flesh of the animal kingdom. Yeah? It's made of the same stardust and breath and life. You know, we are creatures of the earth in this form. And I love that. I love that my body is part of the resonance of creation. Yeah. So there's something really about owning that as well. That's a whole journey in itself, to really come into ownership of your physical experience. Because there's so many people trying to go beyond the physical. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the ground of body. Now the ground of being is the mystic self that lives in eternity, that's never been born. The nameless, the formless, the pure presence, the innocence, and something that we touch in those states when we move temporarily sometimes above and beyond what people call the here and now. So there'll be a whole session on what we mean by the here and now. but just a few indicators. Yeah? For me, the here and now is both three-dimensional. So I'm both here and now with you on a screen. I'm in Prague and you're wherever you are. We're in some physical here and now. And at the same time, we're in a non-local quantum here and now, where there is no space and time between us at all. Yeah? You can do a little test if you want. So just give your hands a good rub. And just put your left hand up, left hand, and then just put the right hand around and just notice if you feel anything in your left hand. Okay. Now I want you just to sense and see and feel and energize. Breathe in a bit deeper. And just get a sense of energy moving from your right hand out into the non-local space to connect immediately with the others. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. Right. Give a little wave if you felt anything in your left hand. Did anyone feel anything in your left hand? A little bit. Okay. We can practice more of this non-locality business here. I'll give you a little story, okay? I trained as a healer when I was 16, and one of the teachings was distant healing, which is strange because the concept of distant doesn't make any sense, yeah? When you look at non-locality, because there is no distance. Anyway, I was in my house in the north of England. I was a student at the time, and my mum was in her house in the south of England, and I hadn't told her I was giving her a healing. I should have done from free will and everything, but I was experimenting. Right? And I imagined that I had my hands on her shoulders, and I was breathing in this graceful light, and it was coming from my heart out through my hands into her shoulders. So I'm in this state, and I can sense my mum's energy. I hope you can sense people's energy that you could recognize by feel, not by necessarily look. It's a bit of a test whether you know someone actually. If you can meet them blindfolded, when you do grab your wife, not your neighbor, right? You do connect through the sense, like you can sense your animals, you can sense the weather. It's really important to wake this up in us, physicality, instinctual awareness. And I could sense the presence of my mum, hands like this, meditating, and then suddenly I just fell forward, like I fell right forward and almost hit my head on something. Right. Anyway, I was curious, so I phoned up my mum immediately. I said, "Mum, how are you feeling?" She goes, "Oh, I could really feel you just now, but I just got up from the chair and went to the kitchen." Right. So she actually wasn't there in that moment. Yeah? And I've done loads of little experiments like this, loads of experiments, because I'm very curious about non-locality, how it works, is it possible, is it even real, and if it is, how we can utilize that. Yeah. Now, I want to say something a bit more about this, okay? I hope you're okay listening to this. Please keep breathing in if you get bored or restless. So, if it's true that we are multidimensional beings that live in all time and space, and at the same time, we're three-dimensional humans, creatures of the earth, yeah? This experience of roots and wings is a disassociation when we see them as two separate things. Yeah? So some people are so rooted into the earth, the whole life is designed around survival. And some people can't be doing with survival, so they're just busy with a non-locality in the realms of spirit, or what they call spirit. Yeah? This is called, by the way, spiritual escapism, or the spiritual bypass. Yeah? When you just locate yourself in this otherworldly realm. Now, what about if living is about the integration of? And this is what I really come to. This is what I teach. This is what I live. This is what I love. Is the integration of all of it. So you can be an absolutely delicious human creature, yeah? Loving your human animal with your sexuality, your power, your survival needs, your enjoyment through the body, and at the same time loving the mystic, the visionary, the creative, the inspired, and recognizing it's on one continuum, like the whole of the physical spine and the metaphysical spine. Yeah? So for me, this is largely what we're opening up through the trance dances. We're discovering we are not limited by 10% of the brain. We're limited by our focus in just that we are a three-dimensional being. It's got nothing to do with brain capacity. Yeah? It lights up in the brain, you know, how lack of capacity we're manifesting. The more we allow in the vertical into our life, the more the brain lights up, the whole body lights up. It's not because it's been caused in the brain, it was caused in the non-local field, and the brain is a receiving mechanism. So this is something a lot of people already know a lot about, but there's a bit like a common way of viewing the personality is slightly like there's a bit of a time lag. Some people are still in the materialistic, reductionist, the brain produces everything. And then you have your kind of mystic community. And when you put the two things together, you have this integration of the non-local mind-heart into the physical brain. And we discover this in real time in the shamanic trance dance. This is a natural discovery that happens when you start to move inside of these kind of rituals that we're going to be exploring, because we open up and integrate the horizontal and the vertical. Yeah. Okay. So Peter, you waving at me? Yes. Great. Unmute yourself. That's good.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I can follow you fine. Everything is clear to me. But how do you are you, what is your vision to do this? How do you want to go to set this training in motion? What is it? One evening, one time a week that we meet in Zoom, or what is it? How you want to go to do this?
Yeah, good. Great. Structure the training. Very practical. Good question. Okay. I received this, by the way, the impulse to do the apprenticeship about 4 weeks ago during a trance dance. I was giving it holding space, and I just got this. This is what you're doing now. And the way that I live is when I receive something like that, I act. I receive and act. And I'd already advertised it by the end of the evening, not knowing how or why or what or where, but I trust implicitly when I have that inspiration, because it has a certain feeling to it which just says yes in my being. And I've learned to respond to this. And the more you respond to this, the more it grows, the more it gets it. Now, what I also know about creativity is you respond with a big yes and an open heart and a willingness and take action, the details then come. The details come after. Inspiration first, action after. And I want to share that with you with lots and lots of detail and practice and experience, because it's a way of living life which is inside out. And it's such a beautiful shift. Yeah. You start from the inspiration, you start from the energy, and then it rides out into the details. Yeah. Now, I've had a whole month to meditate inside of this, and so the details have started coming and crystallizing. Yeah, and every message I put out, every sharing I put out. And the practical form, Peter and everyone, is in this moment, in the way that things are with the lockdown and everything. My vision is that we're going to run this for 6 months. Okay. And I'm going to be here every Monday evening from Monday, the 8th of June. Yeah. In this Zoom environment to give teaching on a particular topic, or maybe a couple of topics. And the way it will be a presentation, some inquiry, some practice, and some reflection. And I can play music through here, and we can go on journeys, and you'll be really surprised, if you don't know this already, how much you can receive on the internet, because the internet is the internet when you realize it. Yeah. I feel there is a huge opportunity, yeah, to have embodied present metaphysical experience right here, right now, regardless of where you are in the world. In fact, I'm enjoying this, the idea I can connect to people from all over the world simultaneously in different countries and transmit this and celebrate this. So I'm working with the possibility that this is a good thing right now. And at the same time, I want to bring it to an equal or nearly equal level to my offline events. So it's the integration of get this really good quality. You know, I wouldn't even conceive of doing this 6 months ago. Yeah, to offer a trance. I was really nervous the first trance I did online. So I became aware I'm holding space where I can't physically touch and, you know, instruct people. But I trust it implicitly and go in and have seen some incredible results and benefits. And so I carry on with it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just finish a little bit of the structure, then I'll come to you, Neela. So on Monday, the 8th of June, it's going to be 2-hour sessions from 7 till 9. We're going to record them all like I'm recording this one. So if you can't make any Monday, then the recording will be sent out to you, either the next day or during that week. From the 30th of June, there's going to be a membership site, which I'm building at the moment, where all of the recordings are going to be archived and other material. Yeah. So that's happening. The structure of the apprenticeship training, I put it in part 1 and part 2. Okay. Part 1 is 3 months. Yeah. It might sound like a lot, but I can tell you, you know, in truth, I would love to do this training with you for about 6 years or longer, but we perhaps have to condense it a little bit for all sorts of reasons. And but that's the way I'm told and inspired to offer this. I'm very aware that people have not necessarily issues around commitment, but we've got a lot of things we want to do in the world. And you've got to see some real value in this to give that much time and energy and presence to it. Yeah? So my task this evening is to transmit to you the real value of this. And from my eyes, it's a really short piece of time, 6 months. You know, it's really my baby she's already 3 months old. You know, it's like she was only born yesterday. That's what it felt like. So anyway, 6 months. Now you may or may not be able to come to every Monday. It's going to be recorded. You'll see it afterwards. Yeah? In between sessions, I'm going to give you brief bits of homework, but I want to make sure it's digestible. Yeah, I don't want to give you too much. You know, I don't want to overwhelm. I don't want to give you loads of practices. I want to give you stuff that you're going to do and get a result from. Yeah, week at a time. So it might be like one principle. It's like we're going to work the principle of breath this week, and to focus just on that and to see how that transforms your experience, energy, connection, relationship, and reflect on it, digest it, come back. Yeah. So there's going to be principles, practices, questions. Also here on Zoom, we can do this thing called breakout rooms. So there's going to be a moment in every session where I'm going to give you 10, 15 minutes to share amongst yourselves. So you can also feel that peer level of communication realization. Yeah? During the first part, there's going to be one individual session that I give with you personally, one-to-one, and in the second part. So there's going to be a one-to-one Zoom coaching session because I want to really spend time, 2 hours, and then another 2 hours, to really see how this material, how this approach is impacting you, and if you've got any more detailed questions. Yeah. And I find that's really useful, that kind of mentorship, supervision, direct reflection. Yeah. Now, at the end of those 24 sessions, there's a choice whether you choose to complete there and finish, like round that off. This has been a wonderful self-development journey, and this is what I got out of it. I got how to trance dance, to enter the shamanic cosmology, and to apply this in every area of my life. Yes, thank you very much. All right, great. All right. Or you might want to practice giving and delivering the trance dance. Yeah, and I'm also offering it for that, but I know that's not always for everybody, so I want to make it really clear. 24 sessions is for the self-development work, which is also touching all these areas. And then it's going to be 3 other Mondays after that, and 1 other one-to-one session if you choose to get a certificate to practice this, to train in this, because it's slightly more specific teachings on the guidance, holding space, music, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah? So that's the whole platform of how it looks. Yeah. In terms of commitment to it, okay? Now, some people have expressed to me privately already that they can't commit to that time, but they're interested. Can they come into separate sessions? Yeah. My wish is that we have a community and we grow together over this period of time. Of course, that's my wish. And I also recognize that may not be what you want right now. So you can come into individual sessions and pay a price just for that one session. Yeah. But that won't give you access to the membership site or the one-to-one coaching. But you come one at a time and you take and pick and focus on the themes that you like and love, okay? It might be that you do another approach, which is you commit to 3 months, right? You go for 12 sessions and you do your best to come to every one. If you can't, then you look at the recordings, stay in the group process, go deep with it. And then there's a 2-week pause to like reflect on it. Is this good for me? Do I want to go for the next stage here? And then you choose or not choose to do that, okay? So that's another option. That's kind of more committed, but not completely committed. Right. Like super yes is like, absolutely want to do this, no doubt about it. I'm in fully, all right? And you commit to the whole time and you show up and do your best to be here, okay? I want to accommodate where you are, your wish, your need, your want, your desire inside of it, yeah? I want to give you the teaching and reflection and reminding of what I've discovered about shamanism and the trance dance and conscious movement, which I find phenomenal and extraordinary in my life experience. And I want to share that. Yeah? And I'd love you to be on the receiving end, but I want you to feel free within it what you need and want in this moment of your life. Yeah? So Neela, do you still have a question?
No, it was like in the moment sort of sharing. I wanted to say that I got a big yes on the resonance and how things come down and then details come next. Also about the second part, the facilitation, just wanted to know what your vision is. But that was my inspiration. I got the message that I need to hold a space for especially women to have this embodied sort of ecstatic dancers. But then the facilitation skills are lacking to me. I'm a shamanic practitioner, a healer, and everything, but it's just that obviously deepening my own practice, which got a big yes. Just, I mean, I don't usually think much. The heart says yes, so I'm just gonna commit anyways. but the facilitation part, just wanted to know a little bit about your vision. How does it work to learn the skills, especially through Zoom? And
yeah, well, I don't know if you ever saw the Karate Kid about wipe on, wipe off, but it teaches the guy how to do kung fu by cleaning cars. Yeah, and so you got this teenager who's cleaning windows the whole time. Go, oh, when am I going to learn some kung fu? And then after like a month of cleaning cars, the master comes to attack him and he goes, wah, wah. Right, and he's embodied it. He's embodied the learning. Yeah? Now, I'm not going to teach you kung fu, but I'm going to teach you about shamanic trance dance. Okay. And there's something about facilitation that kind of sneaks in the background every single week that we do these empowering sessions together. Without you knowing it, you've already cultivated and developed loads of holding space skills, facilitation skills, people skills. Yeah? It's happening, you know, in the background, in the unconscious. And sometimes we're going to bring it to the foreground and say very specifically now, we're going to talk about your tone of voice when speaking to people. We're going to talk about intention and vision and creation. So there's going to be some very specific moments. I want you to superbly pay attention to facilitation skill. Yeah? What I was told and instructed on this spiritual path, if you like, is that the most important thing is that we realize who and what we are. Okay? Right? This is foundational to come into deep, honest, authentic, innocent connection. The learning of skills is relatively easy. It actually doesn't take very long to learn this skill and that. It's not even learning. We're remembering and reconnecting to who and how we are. That's why we go on these journeys, these trance journeys, to come into connection deep and deep and deep. When you know who you are, you feel confident. When you feel confident, you feel you can express. When you have confidence in expression, you know your potentials. Yeah? And when you have all of this activated inside, your heart's open, and there's a natural love to serve other people. It's not an idea. It's not, oh, I should do some charity now. It's like an overspill. Yeah? Like you're so full up with the life force, it just spills out of you. I better do something with this. What can I do? Okay, I'll use my skill talent base. Oh, I love dance. Let's do it through dance. So pretty much that's how I've been in discovery with the work I've been doing. You know, I discover from inside out. You know, when I'm filled up, it overflows, and I create a festival or a coaching course or this or that. Yeah? Because I like the sharing of the process. And I also feel a natural responsibility that when I'm given a gift, I want to share that with other people. I don't believe it's been given just for me. Yeah? I feel it's given so that we can share it and pass it on, pay it forwards, whatever you like to call it. And that this is part of our evolutionary journey as human beings, is that if we all suddenly, like today, tomorrow, start contributing what we've learned about life, like generated a huge wisdom circle amongst us, yeah, this would move us forward so quickly in confidence, expression, connection, tribal understanding. Yeah. So I'm very interested in this empowerment, self-connection. And yes, I absolutely love training people in facilitation. And I've been working with conscious dance for years. And I'm pretty skillful about finding the details and the challenges and the breakthroughs necessary to get to the details of what you need. But that's why I'm doing it as a little add-on part at the end for the specific people who really yes to this. Yeah. And it'll be how to lead dance journeys in person and online. Okay, both, not just virtual things that I'm doing at the moment. Any other questions or reflections? Just checking. We got half an hour, so yeah.
Yeah, some already are answered because you said something about the topics. Are you also gonna, and interesting that you're also gonna learn to do online courses? What are the top, are you also gonna work with the elements and with the medicine wheel and how to hold space in that context?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could, yeah.
The themes and the subjects, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I can give you a little list of different aspects. I'm just going to mute you, Tanya, because there's a little bit of...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, something about the actual content, yeah, the details of the subjects. Yeah. Something I want to say before I talk about the details is that I've studied a lot of interfaith and different mystical, religious, spiritual practices And what I'm really interested in, honestly interested in, is what's called the perennial wisdom that runs through all of them, that goes behind them, is there present in everything. And that's called the perennial wisdom. It's like the mystic path, which is inherent in every religion, every tradition, every way. Yeah. Because I'm interested in what you could call universality. For me, if there is such a thing called spirituality, it has to apply to everyone. It's not going to apply to a particular custom or country or creed. For me, that's narrowed it down. If there is a deity or a sacredness, it has to be with all of us equally. Yep. So then, looking from that perspective, what then gives me? That gives me eyes to realize that all of the religious systems, metaphysical systems we see, are descriptions of reality. They're invitations, they're metaphors, they're parables, they're poetry, yeah? They're archetypes and myths. Right? And this is not to discredit them at any level, but this is the language of the description through which spirit is coming through into human voice to try and make sense of something which is nonsensical, which doesn't have words. Yeah? So I can see this. There's an experience that I am used to, which is silent, present knowing, which doesn't need any language. It's a yes that doesn't need any rationality. Yeah? It's just direct connection, revelation from knowing what I am, what I'm made of, what we're all made of, what we all are. Yeah? So it's a revelation that moves from inside out. Yeah? Now, I could talk to you in Hindu cosmology if you wanted, quantum physics, philosophy, poetry, gardening. I could give all sorts of different metaphors, and I will. During the next journey together, I'm going to use loads of different language. But please, 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 don't get attached to the language thinking Guy's telling me a fixed, concrete truth. I'm using language as a carrier mechanism to carry a vibration which lives under and within the language. Yeah? So when you see it like this, when you look through these eyes and you look at spirituality, shamanism is just another language description. Yeah. Now some people get in all shamanic because they like the drums, they like the feathers, they like the costume, and it's like joining a nice little colorful tribe. Yeah? A lot of people like tantra because it has implications towards sex and something else. Yeah, all the rituals and yantras and tantras and everything else that's involved. Yeah, and we try and narrow it down. I'm interested in opening up and including. Yeah, what is the real human experience? Yeah, through loads of different descriptions, but then also transmitted from the silent place. A lot of people get the deepest experience in the trance dance after about an hour when they've dropped the mind, they've gone through the emotion, they've entered a realm of silence where there's just pure beingness, yeah, stillness, knowingness. And then there's something which is also very important, which is the return journey. And we call this superconscious imprinting. You've gone to the depth of source energy and consciousness, and then you travel back into the personality, bringing the gifts back with you. And it comes back through vision, energy, emotion, sensation, embodied experience. This is the return journey. You're not supposed to just end up in indivisible light and stay there. You have plenty of time for that after you've left your body. What's the rush? Let's enjoy being human for a while and integrating and grounding heaven on earth through us. Yeah. So in response to Tanya's question inquiry, yes. And I wanted to say that first because I could say to you, yes, we're going to do the shamanic wheel and the 4 elements. You think, oh, he's just been all shamanic now. And those are principles and practices, and I'm using those, but I want to let you know we're transmitting something underneath them. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Does that kind of make sense? You can shake your head or nod, yeah, a little bit. Good. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry. Now I can answer the question. Thank you. Right. Yes, definitely working with the 4 elements, the medicine wheel, and the 5th element, the cosmic heart, that integrates them all. Definitely working with the power animals because that wakes up our instinctual awareness. It's not just about because I'm now a bear, that's really cool. No, because I'm embodying the bear energy that helps me relate to my boss. Yeah, I'm now the tiger because I could do with a bit of will to finish my projects. I'm not interested in fanciful, egoic, superego descriptions. Yeah? It's like there's too much of a kind of spiritual playground that people get lost in the whole drama of being spiritual, the spiritual ego. Yeah? I'm much more interested in the direct human experience. How does this translate into now? And working with the tarot of the animals, we can open up so many inner archetypal forces inside of us. And it's a very interesting discovery to notice perhaps we have been a bit of a fox this week, you know, a bit sneaky, a bit mischievous. Perhaps I was a bit of a mouse. Perhaps I was a slippery snake. So it's again, it's utilizing language, animals, descriptions to understand states of consciousness and energy. Yeah. So that's just a very brief introduction to power animals. Yeah? We're going to work with something which is often called the medicine bundle. And I particularly like this. It's like a bundle, like a cloth which is bundled up and it's got all the beautiful things in. All your if you had to leave the house now, what would you bundle up? Yeah, my laptop won't fit in my bundle; it's the wrong shape. But you know, in the old days, all right, I would bundle up my secret treasures. You know, the gifts, the tokens, the totems, you know, the talismans, whatever I have empowered in my life experience would be in my bundle. Now, internally, our bundle is our potential. It's our gifts, our talents, you know, our qualities, what we've learned through our experience, what we're here to do, not just our karma, our dharma, you know, our spiritual work, our heart work, our truth. Yep. So there's going to be like an unveiling and revealing of the medicine bundle, which is a deep state discovery of who and what and how we are in our uniqueness and originality. Then we're going to look at the vision quest. Not going to stick you up a mountain for how many days, yeah, but the vision quest is something that can happen right here, right now, because you will have understood or understanding the vertical nature, that it's very possible to access vision in any given moment. That creativity, a lot of people have it, that creativity is like a random phenomena. Now, I've got writer's block and now I haven't, as if it's like a random thing. It can be deliberate and on purpose. There's no reason why you can't be inspired any given moment when you learn how to access and open your energy field and awareness and intention and focus. And I want you to learn these details. I want you to have on-tap inspiration whenever you want, need, or desire it, because it's useful. Sometimes it's very, very useful to have a vision beyond the three-dimensional moment, to get you out the way of the car crash, to get you through the relationship, to get you into the next stage of the project. And this is how we start to work with the vision quest. Not just vision, like I saw a nice picture, vision, action, translation. Yep. I think you probably get the message. I want to ground it, translate it, embody it. Yeah. Okay. Then we are going to look a little bit more about the details of the branches. So there's going to be some healing work, which I like to call the shadow dance, looking at the underbelly of, you know, what we're not saying, yeah, what we don't post on Instagram, you know, what we're hiding from, what the mask is, yeah, and actually getting down to some nitty-gritty, pretty raw, dirty, uncomfortable truths about ourselves, right, and being okay with it. Yeah, part of being human is uncomfortable, it's twisted, it's a bit perverted sometimes, it's contorted, it's difficult, it's a challenge, like raw, honest, animal, human expression. Yeah? Because if we can't confess to this, if we can't own up to our real experience, how can we expect to move through and beyond it? So there's something about claiming it, not avoiding it, not spiritual bypassing it, not pretending or faking it, meeting it, merging with it, and becoming it and absorbing it and reintegrating it. Yeah. And understanding something which I want to go into a lot of detail with you about is that the beauty of the shadow dance. Yeah. People are busy talking about enlightenment, or they used to be. At that time, I used to give a teaching which I called luscious endarkenment, yeah, which for me is a beautiful embodied goddess practice, which brings the balance. Yeah. Personally, I feel enlightenment is very detached and uninteresting and disembodied father stuff when you look at it just in that context. Embodiment, endarkenment is the embrace of the divine feminine, the darkness, the creation, and ultimately it's the wonderful integration of both. Yeah, so you have the divinity, the sacred masculine, alive in the sacred feminine, and vice versa. Yeah? Integration. I will mention that probably every 5 minutes, perhaps. Integration, grounding, weaving it all together. Yeah. Someone else, do you have any questions? Anyone else? Yeah. Thank you, Janie. Yeah.
Let's see if I can put my question right. I felt a yes yesterday evening in the dance, and am familiar with the Colibri Heart Trance dance principle, and haven't been able to follow up, to join in, and now it's a gift that you're online, so I'll be able to join in. and hi everyone I know. This. One of the things I long for, I'm longing for, is the empowering side of this journey, but also I'm longing for the tribal aspect, and I'm wondering, just as a remark or a question, will we work with each other? Will we do sharings? Is it a possibility to really go on this journey together?
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for asking that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tonight's session, I was tempted just to start off with a sharing circle, because I often do that when I teach, but I figured out that would be our hour and a half go. And I love sharing circles. I love tribal connection. I love person-to-person meeting, and I totally believe in the wisdom sharing circle of us together. Yeah. I don't see myself as a teacher. I see myself as a reminder and a guide, and a mentor sometimes, and empowerment coach, and you can give all sorts of names you like it. But I'm not trying to stand above or outside of it. I want to join the circle with you. I want to be in there with you and just share some of the wisdom and experience that I've learned along the way. And I'm expecting you to share your wisdom and experience along the way, your insights, your revelations, your journey. Anyway, there's this beautiful function here on Zoom called breakout rooms, okay? If I click it right now, you'll all go into a room of 3 or 4 or 5 people, depending how I design it. And we're definitely going to have that in every single session. It will probably follow a format, something like this. We'll begin with a little bit of breath work and meditation and connection. Yeah, for the first 5 or 10 minutes with some soft music, as we did a bit today. Yeah. Then from there might be a little bit of a spoken introduction, just a brief presentation of a theme to consider. Then there'll be a breakout room session for probably 5, 10, 15 minutes in small groups of 3 or 4 to share with each other, to see how the last week has been, or what this topic means for you, or just how you are. And in the breakout rooms, it does it randomly. It moves you to different groups of people. Or I can be specific and put you in special groups. But it's definitely part of that sharing. And we can have that reflection space, time together, presentation work, and every single session we're going to do some experiential journey work, whether that's with the drum, more meditation, or more dance. I'm very, very interested in what we know as holistic education. All different perceptual types, different ways, so that it can touch and inspire you through language, feeling, emotion, sensation, presence, to include all of you in that. And I'm hoping to design this and collaborate with you on all this together. Whoever says yes and comes in, we're going to have more of these sharing spaces to see what your needs are each and every week. You know, I'm very flexible in the way that I teach and present, and I'm happy to move with what's in the space. I do have themes, I do have teachings, I do have presentations and practices, but I'm happy to adapt and flow with what's needed in the group at any point. And I love tribe. For me, this is why I'm doing this. Yeah, for me, sitting on some solitary mountaintop meditating by myself is not very interesting. It's interesting for 5 minutes, and then I want to come down to the valley and join the party and the dance and follow the drums and get amongst the people and do the work here on the earth together. And I feel personally this moment is really about collaboration. I had a big Zoom call today with a friend, and that was all that came up. This is a time for collaborating, joining together, sharing forces, energy, life together. So definitely doing it together. Somebody else who hasn't spoken would like to ask anything? We got maybe another 15 minutes or so. If you were to join, what would you need? What would you like? You know, what's your desire? Just I can also hear it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jenny, yes, yeah, go for it.
Question. I know you do a lot. You offer a lot, Guy, and I'm not really clear. I think you have. Is this a weekly thing you do on a Sunday, like the Sunday church? That's not a journey. Is that more of a DJ thing? I mean, is there a weekly? Or are you weekly offering a complete journey opportunity to dive into and just dance, and not apart from this apprenticeship? Or how is that?
I mean, at the moment, I've got a Sunday morning, which is an open dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
But those are always journeys because
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In the evening, every Sunday for the last month or so, I've been offering the trance dance between 6 and 8:30.
Yeah.
And I want to carry on doing that. And here in Czech Republic, we're allowed to start teaching out in public pretty soon. So I'm doing my first workshop on the 7th of June in Prague. And but I'm gonna design my days and times so I can do some online work and offline
Yeah.
work. Balance.
Yeah. Okay, clear.
I don't know if that answers your question, but I'm happy to. I do other things as well. I've got other coaching things and group work that I do. Yeah. I'm also happy to design very specific dance journeys for us within this group. You know, for me, it's like we could do. I've wanted to do this for a long time. Short mini trance journeys, so not the whole 2-hour in depth. So we could do a journey into the nature of the tiger, into the flow of the river, and we could give 20 minutes, half an hour diving into that, dancing into that, feeling that, eyes closed, and then give reflection on it. So this is what I mean by holistic learning.
Yeah.
I'll give a principle, an invitation, a possibility, and then we do a practice, and then we reflect on how that is and what that means for us, and how we can utilize that. Yeah? So we're constantly inspired and grounding it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? And Stepanka, Pablo, Tanya spoken? Anyone else would like to ask or share anything? Klodbeck, yeah, hi there. Yes, Peter, yes.
I love to do this all, and I like what you're telling, and but then always the question comes to me: can I afford it? I'm sorry I have to bring up the practical things because you know how it is in the dancing heart path, and I love to do it, and I feel great enthusiasm do it weekly with you to go in the deep. Certainly because I'm already. It doesn't matter much, but for me it matters. I'm 66, and I feel the urge to bring more of myself or in my life. No, I don't know the right words, but I hope I can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my question.
Yes, good question. So I'll give a generous response. Okay, so you can hear this on lots of different ways. Yeah. So a lot of people who know me know that I'm pretty flexible on most things, and finances also. I have designed this, and there is in the design. I sent it to you on email. Most of you, if you haven't received that, please give me your email address so you receive this. And in that, I set quite specific pricing, and the pricing goes like this: is that these sessions, if you were to do them individually, would be £25 a session. Yeah? Over 3 months, it would be 350, and that would include the one-to-one session, 2-hour one-to-one session, and access to the membership site. If you join this journey, you get lifetime access to the membership site included. So other people can join the membership site from June onwards, and they're going to pay a monthly fee. It's also included in the price if you say yes to this. Yeah. The full training, well, the self-development side of the training is 2 lots of 350, which is £700. And then there's 3 sessions afterwards, plus the one-on-one, which I've put together as £100. So the total thing is £800 if you want to get the certification. Now, hope you can appreciate it's very, very hard to price this kind of thing. Yeah, I've done research in different places. Some people charge like several £1,000s for this kind of work. Some people do it for free. Some people do it bits and pieces. Yeah. Within all of this, I've kind of found a middle way path which values me, values the work, values what's on offer. So that's how I presented it. Yeah. Now, within the context of that, yeah, I'm happy to negotiate with you. I'm happy to meet you. I'm happy to be flexible. Yeah, there might be some exchanges that could be done, which could, work instead of payments at different points. I'm generally, most of the time, a yes to people. If somebody wants to do this, and please don't hear this the wrong way, I also need to feed my family, right? But I'm generally a yes to people. If you want to do this, we can find a way to make it work for you in your life. Yeah? And it might be that you can't pay anything for the next 2 months because we've all not been working, or some people have been working. And so it might be like a delayed payment, or it could be spread out over a year. There could be other ways to negotiate and navigate this. Yeah? My deepest feeling is I'm a spirit here on the earth. I want to serve people. I've got lots to share. And if you're feeling a yes, I want you to step into that and feel the power of the training which will increase your sense of abundance, which will also increase your financial wealth, which will also then feed back into paying for the course that you've just done. Yeah. So I also want to support you in filling up yourself, but I'm happy to negotiate, and send me a personal message, email, or on Facebook if that's the case. Yeah. I don't want you to inhibit the possibility because you think, oh, it's a financial block. Yeah. And this is not me giving you a hard sell. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm just offering this because I want to give this. Yeah? I want you to receive this and to find a way to make it work in your life in the present moment. Yeah. Thanks, Joanna. Yes.
Mute myself. Oh. Well, first of all, I go back a little to your first question. Why do you?
Yes.
Yeah, share a little bit. I think for me, it's. I remember it was just a couple of days ago. I came out of the shower and was drying myself, and I said, "Wow, I still have to invite myself more in my body. Like I feel I'm still not totally arrived." So, yeah, that's really still. I mean, busy with it for years, but yeah, can ground even more and more. So for me, that's also a big reason, especially also because of the shamanism. Really, the grounding, the earthing, that's really important for me. And the other aspect is for facilitating to deepen my facilitation skills. And besides dancing heart path and biodanza, also this part of this kind of work, trance dance. And I must say, I didn't even do a trance dance yet myself one time, but I know I will love it. And so that's for me. And it goes like this. Some moments I think, yeah, but maybe there will be things will double, but then the other thing, it's never double ever. I mean, will hear things at a different level again and again, and it will deepen my understanding and my process. And my question, and the other thing was a practical thing, is about because you talked about this lifetime membership. Because a while ago I signed in for this lifetime membership, but you told me it was something else. Now I get confused. Is it already in this, or is it something else? I'm a bit confused about this.
Yeah, if you join the training, then the payment you've already made for a lifetime membership will be discounted from this.
Okay. Yeah, that was the question. It's
clear. To be really clear, I'm doing a quite advanced course on membership studies at the moment, and this is the distinction I've understood so far. Right? A course or an apprenticeship is the living energy of doing it together, growing together, going through the breakthroughs, intensity, realizations. The membership is a place where you can deepen into implementing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is why there's two different prices. Some people think, well, why don't I just join the membership and not do the training? In the training, you get the aliveness, the presence, the questions, the direct experience. And the membership is a bit like an archive place, and the supportive place to implement it over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
If you've already paid, and some people here have paid as founding members, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, that will be discounted off the price here. And this is also some other options. Yeah? If you've got a partner you want to do this together with, then the price for the partner will only be a third. Okay, so I know there's some people who came on the call earlier in a partnership and they might be interested to do this. So, one pays full price and the other pays just a third. Yeah, that's another option. And I can also give you another option. If you're in a position where you could pay it all in one go, I can give you a £75 discount off the total fee. Yeah? I'm happy to do that if that's useful for you. I'm happy to negotiate. I can negotiate. Yeah? Any other practical or metaphysical questions? For me, they're all the same. Yeah, thank you, Janice. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jan. I'm from the UK, and I came across this by accident. I have a friend who does chakra dance, who I've just started to do this about 18 months ago. And she invited me to a Sunday evening trance dance. At that point in time, I was really far too busy to spend 2 hours, so I tried to follow it while cooking dinner and kept getting distracted in the dance and in the meditation. I think it's the first time I've actually heard somebody who seems to have the spiritual and practical elements tied together. I have gotten tired of people being so heavenly minded that there were no earthly use, and those so grounded in the earth and the materials that they couldn't see the beauty of creation. And I am actually joining this journey, really, because I think I kind of had a bit of a broken heart about things that I've seen. I've been walking alongside, I think I've been very much a wounded healer. I've been walking alongside others for a very long time. And it's been a long time since I belonged to a tribe where I actually felt like I could belong. So it's hearing everybody and listening. And listening to Guy talking about this tonight, it made me think, oh, this could be where I start a new journey, which is I'm quite looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to sort of getting to know everybody on the road.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you. Peter, yes. Are you speaking or what you were waving?
No, I was just waving because it's nice what she told. So thank you very much for telling me that.
If you haven't found this function on the bottom, you can wave at people. See, you can stick thumbs up. And you like, there's a thing called reactions in the bottom right of the Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Very good.
This is on my phone, so I don't know where all the things are. Okay, stupid. Oh. Okay, and I'm feeling a good yes, a great yes for all this. Beautiful.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. So I just say a couple more words, okay? I don't have to finish exactly at 8:30, so I'm happy to.
Sorry, Guy. I think Dominica wanted to speak, and I wanted to hear her.
Great. Okay, I didn't see the hand. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Casey. Hello, everybody. My name is Dominika, and I'm in Bratislava, Slovakia, at the moment. And this feels like I don't know, maybe a fifth call to join the teaching of Guy. I've experienced. I was lucky to get introduced to him and experience not only the online trance dance, one of those that's been happening recently, but also a beautiful workshop in Czech Republic, and we also met at a tribe gathering. So I'm blessed to be and I hear the calling to. It feels like, you know, I've been sort of feeling like there must be a way to weave things that I'm interested in, there are a variety of things, to weave it and use something that is really, that feels so natural and good to me, as dancing does. And so it feels like the last, you know, when you have like a last little puzzle that you put into the picture, or that there's like the little last piece of the circle that completes it. So this image that comes to me. Yes, I was thinking what I could share. And also, since I've been probably like most of you, I've been dancing all my life, like since I remember. But there are such nuances to what it actually is when to dance without mask and with really really actually connecting with people, because I've been approached, even the person, because of who actually guided me to meet Guy. She asked me like, hey, why don't you teach dancing? And there was something a little, there was like a, or is, I don't know, there was like a block to it that came like, yeah, I could, but how do I do this? Because I didn't really want to be taught dancing in a way that I used to be taught by teachers that show me, you know, I visited different schools and they showed us some steps, and then you have to mimic these. And through the journey of life and through dancing, I discovered there is much more to it, and much more is beyond when you actually when I unlearned this. And one of the points of unlearning this mimicry sort of thing was actually the workshop by Guy. So I feel I have goosebumps like most of the time of this call, and I feel like this could be something that can just work, and that can help me to like actually connect, because when I dance, I'm so free, I'm so happy, and I would be really glad to be able to somehow deliver this to 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 something that I've been asked by more people to actually also connect them with their own dance. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for noticing, Chris. Yeah. Anybody else? Just before I give a sense of summary. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Is that you, Casey? Are you waving there? Oh yes, Jermaine.
No, I was just saying goodbye, but I just will say I'm happy to be here. My name's Casey, and I just did the finishing with Guy on the Dancing Heart Path, and I guess for me this is exploring one more of those branches and another level of facilitation and journey. And I think I'm here to be reminded of what's important, and I just am happy to listen when you're connecting, Guy, and yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Jermaine, did you want to say something up there? I say up there because you're in the top left of my screen. Do you want to share, Jermaine? No?
Hi, Guy. Hi, everyone. Jermaine from South Africa. Also, I basically came across you almost by accident. It was through our Soma Breath master instructor, Niraj Naik. I think you attended a festival together, and I was intrigued by the trance dancing. I'd never done anything like that. I just basically completed a Soma breathing protocol, and there was some shaking medicine in that, which I saw, I think, in basically some of the information that you gave. So that intrigued me. And the body movement. So I had this visions of having to invest in a drum and going into trance and gain insights. But I liked what you shared in terms of, grounding the spiritual and the physical. And that's actually what attracted me a lot. I'm on another shamanic group, so I was wondering if I was, because the one aspect scared me if I was going to be blown into a million pieces and being reassembled. But your gentle nature and your description now, and the whole integration and unveiling, really captivated me. So I think this is something that I could basically do. It seems very exciting for me, and I think I'm going to learn a lot about shamanism, and I'm really excited, especially about the body movement and the trance.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing it. Mm-hmm. Anybody else who hasn't spoken would like to speak before we close? Yes, sorry, yes.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I arrived later because there's something with Facebook and the time. So I thought it was at 7 was 8, but so I just heard the last part, but I'm very excited and curious. I just participated in some of your events on Facebook. I'm also a facilitator of Biodanza. It's many years, and I'm in the path of shamanism, but a different one. It's Afro-Brazilian shamanism. So to me, it's it's amazing, your proposal, because we dance trance, but not so profound as I can feel that you are proposing. And also this of putting shamanism in action in life, which is something very important to me. So I will listen to the recordings and then put all together. I just want to thank you for the proposal and your presence. Thank you.
I don't know, Pavla, if you're there. Are you there? Are you there, Pavla? I'm not sure. I've seen your picture the whole time. I don't know if you're listening. Or how about you, Shane? Do you have any words?
Hi, can you hear me? All the questions that I wanted to ask were asked. And so I thank everybody for our collective mindset already in being on the same page in our already unity of this, because all of those questions and my curiosities of the program, the price, the material, and to just gather more information. As you know, having seen you 2 months ago, because of this, what is happening, all of a sudden which never do a lot of online stuff, I'm talking to somebody 6 hours away in Prague, and very respectful, impressed of your abilities in this genre to present the information in this way that I have resonated very deeply with. And I'm very curious, considering, and wanted to hear the offerings that you probably cannot talk about on a call that you may or may not do individually with people. But at the very least, as a person who joined your offering a few weeks ago of being part of the lifetime, whatever that phrase is, or that branding is of that, what that is, and after joining that, I look forward to receiving some of the information for that way. There's a part of me that is attracted to the certification and wants to facilitate this much more so than I've already been doing so. Listening has helped, and has also raised more questions, more still needing more clarity that I didn't get from me personally. And I applaud you, Guy, for whatever dance that was where you received the answer to presenting this workshop. I applaud you to saying yes to that. That is very beautiful, and I respect the sharing of your teachings to craft this and to work through the uncertainty of how that will happen with probably the accuracy you would like, but to do it anyway. And I applaud you for doing that. However, on sitting on this side of the as the potential student, I do look for some of that information, even though I understand, appreciate how beautifully it happens in the spirit of the moment as the students bring the information. I get that as well. And I understand and have witnessed your gifts in teaching in that way. So I really don't, I'm really just doing a little bit of rambling. Hey, nice to see your family members. So I don't have a clear thought at the moment, but I am grateful to have witnessed the first day of your crafting the clarity of what the next 6 months would be like. And I appreciate greatly that effort of you sharing your heart. That's all I have to say. I'm a little bit unfocused myself, but I have stood here today and made the space and time to be here in an honoring of what you're doing, what you're presenting, and my deep curiosity of that. I'm just sharing my heart, even in my messiness of my lack of clarity, to have a clear statement or question, just to share my voice and my heart with the group who we all are curious about this very beautiful program that you're presenting. And hi from Atlanta to everyone.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you very much. Okay, so just to give just a few more details just on next steps, if you like. Just I think it's really important to be clear, and if we're not clear, to ask questions, however messy or obscure or direct. I think it's so important to discover clarity. It's just a way of communicating our needs, and I work with needs, wants, and desires and dreams. So I think it's very, very important to address every aspect of us, so we can. Everything's welcome. You know, I love the practical questions, and I agree with Shane that together as a collective mind, one voice communication, we've answered many of the questions that we've all had all together. So I really appreciate this. There are about another 10, 15 people who messaged me today, so they couldn't be here for the call, but they gave me their email. They wanted the recording. I hope you're okay with that. The recording I'm going to send out to them. I'm also going to send it out to some other people. And I'm going to record all the sessions, and we can look at that in more detail about confidentiality and sharing in the next session. But for the purpose of between now and the 8th of June, I'm going to be sharing this video with other people to offer them the teachings. And it won't be public on Facebook. It'll be through people who ask me directly with an email address, okay? So that's just what's going to happen to the material right now. Yeah, there's I did some work in Atlanta. That's where Shane connected with me. So funny, the online. I was teaching in Atlanta one day and Portugal in the evening. I just love the fact, and Canada the next day. Just incredible what's possible online these days. And so we have an American group of people who are interested, and there's some other people who weren't here today who may well come in. We have someone in Indonesia who's interested, but it's very late in the night there in this moment, and another friend of ours in New Zealand. So it may well be that on the 8th of June, the group looks different, and just want you to be open and flexible with that, and to recognize that we will find our own form as a group. This is my experience of working with groups. There's an adjustment period at the beginning. It could be the first 1, 2, or 3 weeks. And I want to give that to you as well, is that you don't have to know fully on the 8th of June your commitment. In this, you might do, and if you are a complete yes, right, and you're in a position you want to pay for the whole thing and get the discount, please do that before. That will support your commitment, dedication. If you're still in like, I'm curious and I want to find out and explore, come to the first 1, 2, 3 sessions and just pay one at a time. And then if you're ready to make another commitment to go further, do that. Yeah? But you will discover at a certain point in the training, there is a whole teaching called commitment, but I don't want to give that right now. I think you probably sneakily already know that. I think you probably know the things you want, you love, you commit to, you make happen. That's lovely. Thank you. Anyway, I just want to give you a kind of a gentle easing into the space. And what I'm going to do over the next week is I'm going to put together a pretty clear curriculum. I say pretty clear because I also want to, I don't want to have it as a fixed thing in stone. They're going to be the topics. I might deliver them in a different order. There might be other topics come in, but I'm going to give you a pretty good shape of what the next 24 sessions are going to look like. And it'll be the title of the session and a few words explaining, so you can get a sense of what we're going to be exploring. Yeah? But I think as you heard, all of you heard in this call, it's really about integrating, grounding, and applying. So whatever the theme, we're going to utilize it for how it can directly impact you in your life in the present moment. Good friend of mine who I'm working with at the moment on membership site and other things, he said to me, it's very important in this call, he messaged me half an hour before I started. He said, please transmit that everybody in the call is a hero to themselves. Don't you be the hero giving the solution. Give everyone back their own hero-ness, right? So that you discover your own, hero, presence, heart, strength, yeah? And I want to be really clear about this. I don't want to give you some wisdom above and beyond or some clever words or instructions. I want us to be in this together so that you find your center, your core, your power. And that essentially is the journey of shamanism. It's direct. It's not having an intermediary. They're not the priest or the elite or the secret society. It's about your direct, profound realization. And I believe this is what we're all here to realize in what people call spirituality. I just call it life. You can call it 1,000 names. But what is our R-ness? What is the I amness that I am? And what does that mean and feel like as I give that more space to express and become and move out into the world? Yeah? So every theme, really, I've got to let you know, is the same theme. It's about deepening connection and deepening expression. Okay, I just want you to know that, because you might get hooked on the phenomenon of like, oh, I really want to look at power animals. Right? And it's great if you do. It's great if you do. But I want you to know that I'm still going to be teaching the same thing about deepening your connection and deepening your expression. Right? That's going to run through all of it, okay? And on the way, we're going to go through this wonderful texture and variety of different avenues into deepening that awareness. So at some point, you're not even going to care what the theme is. You know, it might be on the first week or the third week. You're not going to care. You're going to show up because you want to deepen into your connection and expression. Yeah, just want to make that really clear, because then we have the flexibility to move intuitively with what shows up in the space. Yeah. I'm feeling it's probably time to round this up. Yeah, I did say on some of the messages we might have time for a drum journey. I'm not feeling we have time for another half an hour of drum journey. I feel this is a good introduction, but what I do invite you to do is in the next 2 weeks between now and the 8th of June, if you can send me some kind of message, if it's a yes, a maybe, a question, a curiosity, yeah, send it to me personally either on Facebook or to my email address, which is djcolibri1@gmail.com. If I haven't got your email address, yeah, please send it to me. And also let me know if you want a recording of tonight. You know, I've assumed you wouldn't, but maybe you do. Maybe you want to reflect and digest a bit deeper. Yeah? You're always welcome to that. Yeah? So I'm feeling to close this circle right now between us. So she'll just give us a nice rub of the hands, and a nice non-local blessing, connecting, and just really just taking a moment just to, I really appreciate that you've shown up tonight and you've brought yourself into the space and shared, and I'm happy and delighted, and also curious and open, and have a deep wish to serve what I call the Colibri heart, or the awakening and the vibration of the hummingbird inside of you. And I'm committed to this and intentional for this, and have a joy to share this with whoever really wants to step in. And if you have other friends you want to invite, please put them in touch with me. It'd be great if we can all start together on the 8th of June. That's my focus, to really gather the group to start, and to start, you know, deep and together. So thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah. Bye bye for now. Yeah. Bye bye.